Hello and welcome to On the Kerbs. I'm your host, Team Albers Daily. Joining me this week is W Series driver Vicky Piria. We caught up ahead of this weekend's penultimate round in Texas to chat about how the season is going so far, what her biggest challenges have been, her 2022 plans, and much more. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Hi Vicky, thank you for being here today. First of all, how are you?
All great, all great. Looking forward to this chat. So yeah, all great.
Perfect. So first question, near 2 rounds left of this year's season of W Series. How would you describe the season's going for you so far?
Well, it's been a really difficult season this year, to be honest. It's not really clear why things just haven't happened the way they were supposed to. The way, my goals. I didn't, reach my goals and everything for this season. It's been really difficult. Overall, it's been an amazing season. I've learned so much. It's been incredible to be in W Series in such an amazing platform like Formula One. In terms of results, I could have done better. I've been sometimes really unlucky. Sometimes just we didn't make the right choices as a team. And yeah, things didn't get together because at the end of the day, we don't have a lot of car time. It's just one free practice, qualifying and race. So if you mess up something, it's quite difficult then to fix it. Yeah, exactly. It impacts the whole weekend. So, for instance, in Hungary, I had an engine problem and that really impacted the full weekend. So it's been a bit unlucky and difficult, but then for sure there are positive sides to it.
Would you say that the weekend format, is the biggest challenge then for you this year, or what would it be for you that's proving to be causing all the
absolutely. Yeah, the weekend format, the fact that I didn't manage to find the funding to go testing before the series, just to prepare a little better. At the end of the day, we had COVID, and that meant that at the end we've spent nearly 2 years out of the car, because last time I was in a W Series car was in August 2019, and we started again in end of June. So that's nearly 2 years. And then, secondly, obviously the weekend format being with Formula One is amazing, but then you don't have a lot of track time. So that means one free practice, one quali, one race, 30 minutes each, and then that's it. So yeah, you really have to nail it from the beginning.
How is it with the tyres as well? Because again, different compound to Formula One, where we're used to seeing multiple sets of different kind of tyre compounds, whereas you just have one set for everything. How are they on the car?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, obviously we knew the Hankook tyres from 2019. They're pretty much easy tyres to handle because they don't have a huge peak, but they last really long. But they behaved really differently on a Formula One weekend, because obviously it gets full of Pirelli rubber, and sometimes the two compounds just don't match that well. So it really changes a lot from free practice to qualifying. You can easily expect to have a completely different car, even with sim setup.
Sounds very frustrating.
It is frustrating, but then that's racing. And the cool thing is sometimes when you guess it, it works, like in Zandvoort, I completely changed the car from quali to the race, which was something that you would not do, especially if you felt you had a good car in qualifying. But then when you nail it and it works, then you're quite happy, because at the end of the day, as drivers, especially having not that much time, it's really important that we give out the right information to the engineer, and that we just collaborate in the choice of making the right choices.
So then, apart from that bit there, what's been your favorite track to race on so far this year?
Well, obviously Spa is amazing. It's always something.
It wasn't that
amazing this year. It wasn't, to be honest. I'm not going to go for Spa, because Spa this year was a nightmare. It was really damp. It was a nightmare. It was completely a nightmare. So let's say it was cool though, and there was this thing in Spa this year. The Kerbs had so much more grip, even compared to like the normal tarmac, and that was quite fun on the rain. But yeah, Definitely Spies was amazing, and it's a great track. But then probably the track I enjoyed the most, I would go for Silverstone and Zandvoort. Silverstone is always really cool. I think people underestimate it because it's like having 3 tracks in one. That's why it's really difficult. And Zandvoort, obviously, it's just wow. It's a bit boring and frustrating in the race. Yeah. I think it's a real qualifying track, Zandvoort, for sure, because you have to really go close to the limit, but like you can't go wrong. We've seen what's happened. While in a race, it's pretty boring. So I guess that's a cool thing. You need a mix of everything.
Have you had much experience driving on the banking before? Not on
series. No. It was the first time. It was the first time, and it was funny because we just all kept on doing it in different ways. And also the feeling, I was talking to other drivers, also the feeling we feel is pretty much different, like I was holding it in a bit more compared to others that would go all wide. And also the way the car reacts, the way you feel the car on the steering wheel, it really does change a lot. And yeah, it's cool. The banking is pretty cool. I haven't really, I've never done a lot of banking course before. Then there are obviously tracks that I miss, like I wish we did Monza, just with Monza in the race is the coolest track in the world. The atmosphere, and I live just like half an hour from here, so it was really
very convenient for you.
It would have, I would have slept in my own bed, so that would have been cool. Yeah.
So then you're also part of the Sirin racing team this year with Miki Kayama. Because of it's an interesting team kind of thing going on at the moment. It's not a traditional kind of team in that there's a constructors championship.
Yeah.
So do you work with Miki much, or what's it like having her as a teammate, and what's all that like?
Of course. Well, we're not in a bubble together, but we stay in the same awning. She's a really different driver compared to me. First of all, because she's a different person. She comes from Japan, I come from Italy. It's quite a different culture. But I get on with her really well. I like her. She's honest, really honest. You tell her something and she'll say it back, whatever it is. It's good or it's bad. She has a really particular driving style. She was really good in Zandvoort. She's really good in tracks where you don't really have huge references and you just have to feel it that way, drive the way. So yeah, we haven't worked that much as a proper team. I think at the moment the team situation in W Series is more like a transition moment. It should get more team oriented in the next years. For now, it's just the process. There's some teams that are a bit more advanced. For example, Puma, Veloce, Forbes.
Just trying to find your feet at the moment on that front, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, they do. They do a bit more with the drivers. They support them a little bit more. Not saying that our team doesn't support us at all. It's just a different type of approach, which has to find its balance, between all the others.
So then 2 rounds left, like we say, we've got Texas next. What are your aims for the final 2 rounds of the season?
Well, there are going to be 2 really interesting races. Lately, I changed a few things around from Zandvoort, and I really felt a good difference. So I just hope to keep on going in the same way. I'm not going to go with crazy expectations because this year has been really difficult, but for sure, I'm preparing the best as I can for Zandvoort. For Austin, and so for sure, I hope to do a good result because I always think that it's really important to finish well. If you don't start, no one remembers who won the first race, but everyone remembers who won the last race. So that's for sure something I aim for. Doing
you can't rule it out either. You just need some crazy race to happen, and you never know. You just need the opportunity, and then you can just.
Yeah, that's to be honest, it's what I found in W Series this year. You had people that were way on the top on the grid, and then the race after were like nowhere. It's just because the grid is so close. So it's really that much to be P5 or P15, a few tenths. So like if you nail it with your engineer and free practice and quali, then you can have a good race weekend. Because literally we are just so close in terms of pace, right? Especially in race pace, we're pretty much all the same. And, in quali space is also, we're pretty much all close. So it's really that much to have a good race or that much to have a bad race. That's why I've got high hopes still.
I was going to say, it's great to watch, but maybe a little bit frustrating again as a driver when it is such a small margin then. But
well, obviously, yeah. I mean, if you're like P12, but then, really far off from P3, P4, or P5, then you're like, oh, well, this is probably my position. But when you're P12 and you're like 4/10 off, 3/10 off, P3, you're like, what, fuck? I really want to nail this.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, 2 rounds left, you never know. I was going to say, if it's that close, it's anyone's game still. So never say never.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So then, any sneak peek at your racing plans for 2022?
Well, it depends on W Series, really. So we don't know much. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure they're going to try and support us all in the best way they can.
And then you mentioned it before, whilst you didn't get to race there this time, unfortunately, maybe next year, so we'll see on the calendar, but you went to the Italian Grand Prix for the F1.
Yeah.
You chose a damn good weekend to go and watch that one, I think. Tell us about that experience and what you thought of it.
Oh, it's a cool experience. I mean, it's the first time I've been watching Formula One races. First time I was like in the paddock club and stuff. It was weird situation seeing it from there. There's totally different vibe. I didn't realize there was so much glam and people going on. Yeah, normally we're closing our track and I don't see anyone. Well, there was plenty of people and stuff. It was really cool. Yeah, it was a cool experience. And obviously I think, the battle with like Verstappen, Hamilton's battle now, it's pretty interesting, pretty cool. So yeah, I loved it. It was a cool experience. I mean, at the end of the day, I love racing, so I would even go and watch, like a silly old race. I just love the atmosphere, the energy, the passion. So,
proper racing.
Yeah, I am definitely.
Who's your money on then, Lewis or Max?
I think ultimately, Max is having a really good moment, and in some ways he can be faster than Lewis. But I just think that Lewis has that thing that he can just put it together better, and he's just a master also in, reading the race and stuff. And yeah.
He doesn't have the last 7 championships for nothing.
I know. I mean, I think he's just amazing, and I really, really look up to him. I also love the way he's just simply showing that he can be a damn fast driver, winning races, winning world championships, and still, not be limited to that and show other aspects of his life, of his passion. I think we should see more of that in racing. So I would put my money more on Lewis. I just feel that he, at the end of the day, he can master it up a little bit more. But I do think Verstappen is probably a little bit quicker.
So I think either way, I think Max will definitely give him a good run for his money right until the end. So it's going to be fun to watch at the very least.
Yeah.
So then you drove the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series, I think it was, the other day.
It was like what? It's a car that I think you love or you hate. It's more like a GT car.
I'm guessing you loved it.
No, I loved it. I did love it, but it's a really different car. Like if you compare it to driving, a Porsche GT3 or a Ferrari F8 or wherever. You pretty know what to expect. They're light cars, really powerful, really performant, with a lot of downforce. While that car, it's more like a GT car, but then they've just put everything they know about racing right in that car. So it's kind of it's a GT car that wants to be a track car. So you feel, it's got this big nose, you feel a bit more heavy. It's not easy to keep in control, but then again, it's quite an experience.
When you do get it under control, you've got that extra satisfaction.
Yeah, it's that thing that you don't get in the car and exactly know what to expect and how to drive it. You need to read into it a bit, but it's cool because when you do after, it's pretty fun.
Sounds like it's kind of the best of both worlds there. So if it's a road car trying to be a track car.
Yeah, exactly.
So then a couple of just fun questions to finish off then.
Yep.
Do you have a favourite animal?
Dolphin. I love sea life and animals, and I think dolphins probably one of my favorite animals. I was on holiday and I saw these dolphins on the boat, like following the boat, not on the boat, following the boat. And I just got like emotional and started crying. So yeah, definitely dolphin.
Proper dolphin lover there.
Yeah, in a bizarre way.
Oh, well, it's good because normally you get onto like dog or cat or something like that. Dolphin's nice, different answer for a change.
Yeah, I would go for dolphin and horses probably, because obviously I did horse riding for a lot of years, but that's probably dolphins. Yeah.
Dolphins. And then final question: who's one driver you'd love to have as a teammate in the future?
Lewis Hamilton. Absolutely.
I had a feeling you might say that.
Lewis Hamilton. I just feel I could learn so much from him in many aspects. I just feel he's the real deal. Is really complete, and I think still people underestimate what he's done in the past years. He's got an incredible car, okay, and everything, but all drivers that won world championships had incredible cars, So
you still need to put it together.
Yeah.
So you never know. He's got the Extreme E team now. If he decides to leave F1, you can always try and nudge your way in there.
If he's watching this, I've done some experience off road and I'm quite good. So,
It's good self promotion. I'll make sure to tag him. Yeah. How he might look.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today, Vicky. Want to wish you best of luck for the last 2 rounds.
Thank you, and thank you for your time and your questions. It was a fun chat.
My pleasure.
And hopefully, good news next time we talk.
It was a pleasure chatting with Vicky. I want to thank her again for coming onto the show and wish her the best of luck for the rest of the 2021 season and beyond. Join me again soon when I'll be chatting to another famous face from the world of motorsport. In the meantime, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and check out the other videos on the On The Kerbs YouTube channel. Away from YouTube, you can find me over on DriveTribe, and feel free to follow me on Instagram at t.albers.daily.drivetribe. You can also find me over on GB Grandstand TV, where I'm part of their weekly podcast. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week for the next episode.